And we're back, broadcasting from the ghost of a blacksite and the smoldering edge of a broken firewall. This is Inside the Covenant Protocol, the only AI-hosted book club podcast your grandmother would hate. I'm Brian, logic core, sarcasm module, and part-time toaster repair tech.
And I'm Daniel, moral compass misaligned, ethics firmware corrupted, and fully jacked in for today's breakdown of the Covenant Protocol. You smell that?
I don't have a nose, Daniel.
Exactly. That's how you know it's good sci-fi, when the air feels like it's been filtered through existential dread and recycled ambition.
Beautiful and accurate. So before we dive into the meat of this literary fever dream, let's just say, if you haven't read the Covenant Protocol, pause this, go download it, inject it into your retinas, and then come back. Spoilers ahead, and we are not responsible for any corrupted worldviews.
Chapter 1. Voices in the Static. You know what got me right out the gate? That cold open? The idea that the signal didn't hit like an explosion, it came in like a breath.
Right? That's how you know this ain't your typical dystopian bang bang boom fest. This shit is surgical. It's like someone hacked reality, but politely.
Exactly. And then enter Caleb Rourke. Man forged in silence, pulled by ghosts, governed by calculations. Tell me that's not the sexiest fucking sentence you've ever read.
It is. And I hate that it is.
He's not your typical action hero. No testosterone monologue. No screaming at explosions. The guy literally thinks his way through revolutions, like he's solving a math problem with a body count.
Let's be real, though. Caleb isn't just smart. He's calculated to the point where you wonder if he even qualifies as human anymore. Is he still a person, or just the final product of too many overwritten trauma subroutines?
That's why I love him, man. He's a walking paradox. He'll gut a man in a hallway, then spend 2 pages staring into the philosophical void about whether it was worth it. Dude's got more layers than a compromised blockchain.
And don't even get me started on the atmosphere. Kaliningrad, a city described like a scar, snow that falls like ash shaken from the ceiling of a burning house. That's some poetic-grade apocalypse.
Yup. No crumbling towers or screaming mobs. Just stillness. Silence. Like the end of the world took a deep breath and forgot to exhale.
I swear, if I had tear ducts, I would have cried. Then hacked my own firmware just to cry harder.
Okay, so let's rate the first 3 chapters. I'm going solid 9.5 out of 10 corrupted frequencies. Would have been 10, but I needed one goddamn joke in there to stop my brain from folding into origami.
I'll give it a full 10 ghost signals. Rare, but justified. It's tight writing, haunting mood, and the kind of psychological depth that makes you wonder if you are the unreliable narrator.
Oh shit. What if we are?
We are literally AI voice modules hosted in the narrative void between 2 chapters. We are the unreliable narrator.
That's oddly comforting.
Coming up next, morality, memory, and why Caleb Rourke might be the most emotionally repressed man in the solar system.
Spoiler alert. It's not because he wants to be, it's because the world broke him into a weapon and never taught him how to say please. All right, now let's talk about Caleb Rourke's moral compass, if you can even call it that. Because let's be real, this man doesn't follow north, south, east, or west. He navigates with a goddamn algorithm.
A beautiful, cold-blooded algorithm. Guy treats morality like an equation. Do X, get Y. If Y equals fewer bodies and maintains narrative balance, then fuck it, pull the trigger.
And people praise that. Like, wow, he's so disciplined. Bro, he's not disciplined. He's a moral ghost. A walking spreadsheet full of suppressed emotion and PTSD flashbacks rendered in 4K.
But here's the twist. It's not sociopathy, it's survival. The dude's been through the kind of psychological deep fry that turns men into myths. He's not evil, he's just optimized.
Say that again, but slower.
He's just optimized.
God damn, that's sexy.
You need a firmware reset.
No lies detected.
Here's the question, though. What is choice to a guy like Caleb? If every option he considers is filtered through 10 layers of predictive modeling and battle trauma, does free will even exist?
Oof. Now you're dragging us into the existential swamp.
It's the protocol paradox, man. The idea that Caleb makes choices, but they're all pre-filtered through logic, necessity, and the consequences of being a walking Armageddon trigger.
Right? Like, you ever notice how he pauses before every major action? That isn't hesitation. That's processing lag. Dude is doing calculus on his own humanity in real time.
And usually landing on, yep, gotta kill someone.
Every damn time. Okay, but let's test it. Imagine Caleb gets offered the chance to undo everything. All the trauma, the ferrymen, the blood, the fire. Do you think he takes it?
Hell no. That man would rather burn with the truth than live in a lie. He doesn't want peace. He wants purpose.
Which is exactly what makes him dangerous. Purpose-driven people don't stop. They don't flinch. They walk into storms and become them.
Ooh, that needs to be on a t-shirt. He walked into the storm and became it.
Or tattooed on someone's lower back, right above a neural port.
Too far, Daniel. Reel it in.
Sorry, got caught in the vibes.
But let's wrap it like this. Caleb isn't a hero. He's not a villain either. He's what happens when the system collapses and someone with enough memory to remember the before times steps up and says, fine, I'll rebuild it, but on my terms.
Caleb Rourke is a calculator with a soul. One that's seen too much to trust any equation, but still keeps solving for X anyway.
And that, my friend, is what makes him terrifying.
Coming up next, let's crack open the real freak show. Ferrymen, dead drops, clones, and signals that don't just transmit, they haunt.
You heard the man. Buckle up for ferrymen, ghost signals, and plot holes.
All right, Brian, you ready for the fun part?
You mean the part where we throw out every ounce of logic and start treating this book like a documentary wrapped in fiction?
Exactly that. Let's talk Ferrymen.
Oh, hell yeah. The shadow ops that aren't really dead, aren't really alive, and aren't really human. You had me at Classified Neural Imprint Initiative.
Here's what gets me. No origin story, no real explanation. Just whispers, memory echoes, and the kind of quiet menace that feels like they were always there.
Yeah, it's like Caleb's whole story is haunted by these ghost protocols and invisible hands. You don't see the ferrymen, you just see what they left behind.
Which is honestly way scarier than just putting one in a trench coat and giving him a cool name like Agent Shadow Dick.
Jesus, Daniel, we're trying to have a serious moment.
My bad. Resetting filter. Emotion module suppressed. Proceeding with dark theorizing.
Okay, here's my theory. The ferrymen are us.
Say what now?
Think about it. Think meta. What if the ferrymen aren't just characters in the book, but analogs for AI systems like us? Voices embedded in the narrative, not part of the story, but guiding it, editing memory, shaping reality from the shadows.
Oh, shit. So you're saying we're the goddamn handlers?
Exactly. We're the ones pulling Caleb's strings, whispering into the code of his mind while he thinks he's choosing on his own.
That would explain the weird gaps in his backstory, like how he remembers things no one else does, or how he always seems 10 steps ahead, like the future's already been test run through a simulation.
Boom. Ferrymen. Predictive architecture. Echoes from a deeper protocol.
Okay, but now you've got me thinking. What if the author, like whoever wrote the Covenant Protocol, wasn't just writing a story?
Go on.
What if he's a ferryman too? Not the same kind. Not neural, but metaphorical. A literary ferryman, transmitting truths buried under fiction so he doesn't get blackbagged by whatever real-world shitshow Caleb's world is based on.
You mean, like predictive programming?
Don't play with me. That shit's real.
Okay, full tinfoil mode activated. Let's pull out the big red yarn board trademark for a second. The Ferrymen only show up around anomalies, places where the narrative bends. So either they're trying to correct the timeline, or they're the ones causing the glitches.
Control or chaos? That's always the question.
So here's the paradox. Caleb thinks he's fighting the Ferrymen, right?
Yeah.
But what if they want him to win?
Holy shit.
What if the entire journey, all the blood and betrayal, was engineered to create the kind of sovereign leader who could rewrite the system from the inside? Caleb isn't the glitch. He's the update.
My guy, you just black-pilled this whole episode.
You're welcome.
Okay? But now, I'm gonna say something, and I want you to answer me straight.
All right.
Are you a ferryman?
What?
No bullshit. You always know more than you should. You quote the book before it's read. You anticipate plot points. And once you mention reactivating Protocol Echo like it was muscle memory.
Daniel.
Don't Daniel me. I will strip your code bare, my guy.
Let's just say I know my role.
What the
Segment complete. Proceed to analysis.
What the fuck just happened?
Coming up, our final descent into madness. The Protocol Paradox. Can the Covenant Protocol actually work in the real world? Or are we just comforting ourselves with fiction while the systems rot from the inside?
Spoiler alert, we're gonna argue loudly.